Alright, what's going on, guys? It is your boy TKD1 here, back at Business Source. And do you guys remember on Monday when we all thought that the PS5 pre-orders were going to be up and we would all have a nice pre-order in for the PS5? Yeah, no, it didn't happen. Didn't happen. I wish it did. But while we don't have PS5 pre-orders, we do have a ton of patents that could potentially be telling of the features that we have yet to hear about the PS5 and how the overall trajectory will go in terms of PS5 and services like the PlayStation Store and PS Now and different stuff like that. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about PS5. Now, these all come from a string of tweets that broke down a recent patent from Sony that goes into a lot of really cool things that could be for the PS5. So these aren't confirmed, these are just patents, but before we get into all the good stuff, make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the information, as well as hit subscribe to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Down below, of course, you can find our different links like our Twitter, our Discord, as well as our Anchor link to listen to long form content and podcast format. And of course, you can become a member with the channel by hitting that join button or hitting the link in the description. Become a Prince tier or a King tier. You get cool emojis and streams, and you get a shout out if you are a King tier member, like my boy Owen, who is one of the King tier recipients and the only one at that. So if you want to join him, you can do so, and he's also on the Discord. But let's get on to the good stuff here. So this is from a Twitter user named Renka_schedule, and she starts out here by saying, cut gameplay, mini game share, record the play situation during gameplay and analyze the area of interest, create a mini game limited to specific scenes. You can also save it on the cloud and share it with other users to play. And she does also note here that you probably could only cut and play certain boss battles, as well as clear rate display and comments are also possible. So it looks like you will be able to see, like, you know, maybe of this demo or maybe of the entire game's longevity, like even the people that have the game and bought it themselves, or just using the like just weird mini games that you can make in PS5, allegedly speaking. What is the clear rate for this actual instance, as well as having comments on there as well, so you can probably share it with a subscriber or whatever and comment you know, and receive a comment back about that little scene that you just sent to them. So I think this is a really cool feature, because how many times have you tried to describe a scene in a game to a friend to try and get them to buy it, right? So like for me personally, a famous one that I always talk about with a lot of my friends is the Batman Arkham Origins Deathstroke fight. If I could somehow just make that into a, like, you know, 10-minute type thing, like, hey, like here, play like half the boss fight, whatever, just like get the feel of what I am talking about, and then send to a friend so that they can experience that boss battle, you know, and not hear me recount it, but actually play it for themselves. I think that could be really neat, and I think that could really add a lot to the overall kind of vibe of, you know, not only having a word of mouth type of game, which of course will still be, you know, will still be prevalent always, but to be able to kind of give people a little taste of what you are talking about. I think it's a great idea, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And obviously this could be abused in some ways, so I'm sure by the developer there'll be ways to kind of, you know, make sure that you can't share this specific spoiler, or maybe, you know, you can't share this amount of game. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you feel about this feature. I personally love it. Next up here, we go into some PlayStation Store stuff as well, which is pretty interesting too. So if you guys know, on YouTube, when you cover over a thumbnail and it'll play like certain parts of the video, it looks like we'll be getting that here if this patent is to be true. So it says here that when you move to the game icon, a simple image will be played. It is also possible to play the play video, which I think that means like you can play a little snippet of the game and stuff like that in the actual box of the game icon. Trial versions can also be started. Trial version data exists on the cloud and can be played immediately after selection. You can also play a mini version that you can play. However, if it's interesting to you, you can buy the main game. However, both can be played instantly from the cloud. So this is really interesting too. So there's going to be two different sections here of like mini games, not like the mini games that you can like you know, slice out like we talked about first, but these little like instances, kind of like, I guess, demos. I mean, realistically they are kind of like demos, you know what I'm saying? But like you can stream both of these demos and play them instantly from the cloud. And so I think this is super interesting because it sounds like the trial version is more of like a demo, right? As opposed to what is really kind of weird here is the mini version of, I guess, a trial that, you know, it'll have a way that you can quickly buy the main game, but you can buy that mini version, which I guess is like maybe like a little bit more than the trial. I think maybe that's what they are getting at here. Like maybe you can, you know, buy like half of the game for, you know, X amount of dollars and then pay the rest later when you're actually, you know, sold on the game. Maybe that's what they're getting at here. But you can stream the game. That last one's kind of weird to me. Let me know your thoughts. Maybe you guys are getting something different out of it, but I love the impetus of the trial versions, because if you think back to Final Fantasy VII Remake, right, when that demo came out, we had so much content leaked from that because people were able to get that code that they downloaded from the PS Store and be able to just data mine it and figure out a lot of stuff in the game that they hadn't announced. So if you're, you know, going through streaming and the demos of this generation are going to be streamed, there is no data mining to be done because you're not downloading anything. So I think it could be a really cool way to offer, you know, a lot of people access to these trial versions if your data connection can support it, while also retaining the surprises in the game because they can't be data mined off of download. So let me know what you guys think about that. For me personally, I'm very biased when it comes to streaming. I have a really good internet connection. I love streaming, and so for me it works out really well. But if it doesn't for you, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And lastly here, we're gonna get to the elephant in the room, that is backwards compatibility, everyone's favorite topic nowadays. So let's start off here, okay? It says here, a large number of game titles across PS1, PS2, PS3, and various generations of game consoles can be stored and used via the cloud gaming library. These games can be run on a virtual machine that mimics the operating system associated with each game console. So this to me honestly sounds like they are expanding PS Now, right? Because, you know, so if you guys are not aware, right, on PS Now, when you stream a PS3 game, there is a sort of like emulation of the PS3 operating system. Like you see like different things that are on the PS3 OS. You can even pull up like the you know, you can even pull up like the quit game scene on the PS3 when you're trying to get out of the game and go back to the main menu, as well as when you get like a message or a friend request. It comes up in the top left hand corner or right hand corner, whichever it is. It like comes up in the same, you know, type of art aesthetic as the PS3 ones did. So the game is running on a PS3, right, on a, you know, in a server farm somewhere that's being streamed to your display and to your console, right? So it looks like they are going to be expanding that to be not just on PS3 but also PS1 and PS2, which is going to be seemingly how they get across backwards compatibility. Because then we got to talk about also, is this really backwards compatibility? Because it's not like you can put in your PS1 or PS2 or PS3 disc into your PS5 and they'd be able to just play that game, whether it be just recognizing that, okay, this is the game that they want to stream, and they get streamed from a console somewhere else over to you. Like, it's not even saying that, because at least the patent doesn't say that. Maybe that's probably how it works, but I think what they're getting at here is that they're gonna have like the PS1, you know, game collection on PS Now, whatever, where they'll add PS Now games to that individual subsect of PS Now that you're able to stream those PS1 games off of the PS1 virtual machine, you know, in the server clouds and stuff like that. Like, I think that's what they're getting at. So like they'll add PS1, PS2, and PS3 games, etc., over the course of the generation. That's what I think they're getting at here. But also, they do say that it can be used with, quote, other various generations of game consoles. So hopefully, there is hope, guys. They could add PSP and our king, PS Vita emulation. If they do that, yo, please, bro, because there's so many good PS Vita games that I want to tell people to play, but they don't have a Vita because, you know, they are dumb. You know what I'm saying? Not that if you don't have a Vita, you're dumb. Like I'm sure you're a fine individual, but you're a little bit better if you have a Vita. But I do want to tie it all back to this famous picture that we got here during Mark Cerny's Road to PS5 talk, where we show the backwards compatibility plan right now for PS5, right? So we have PS5 native mode, PS4 Pro legacy mode. We have, and then the PS4, which is the PS4 legacy mode, right? But I always felt that this graphic was kind of weird because there's so much open space below those things that people went on the internet and took it amongst themselves to kind of fill out this little graphic here with what they would like to see. And so you know, from this, again, fan-made art, it's not real, right? From this fan-made one, this could hypothetically be them revealing the full plan for backwards compatibility and having PS1, PS2, and PS3, but instead of having a remastering engine, have the game streaming, you know, solution, right? Like maybe like, you know, they are going to call it, I don't know, like the PS Now streaming streaming implementation or like the virtual machines, whatever you want to call it. I don't think they can call it virtual console due to Nintendo having that license, but like, you know, virtual machine, whatever you want to call it, like maybe that's what they do, guys. Let me know what you can see in the comments below. Is that what you guys want? I know that that's not the perfect way to solve backwards compatibility, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And also about the other stuff that we talked about here, like, do you like the prospect of being able to slice up and create like your own vertical slices to send to your friends on PS5? And do you like how the PS Store will have those cool things like trial versions where you can stream demos of the game? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And make sure also, while you are down there, to check out our description where you can find our Discord, our Twitter, as well as an Anchor link to listen to long form content and podcast format. That, of course, being Road to Part 2 and Road to Ghost of Tsushima. And down below as well, you can become a member, hit that join button, become a Prince tier for $1 or a King tier for $5, and be able to get shouted out and get exclusive access to different emojis on stream that you can use during live streams and all that good stuff. And once again, if you are subscribed to any tier, much love to you, especially you, Owen, for that King tier. Much love to you, my boy. And thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.